Okay, you'll notice I have a different speaking image. I might have to fix that little outline thing. It's not too bad, honestly. It's kind of like a highlight, but I'm not sure I like it. It's too visually different. I'll have to fix that before. Anyways, this is my Blood Moon Stories character, and I will be doing Blood Moon Stories, and so I've been writing poetry about my character and everybody else's characters. And I just finished one that definitely needs to be sung. I need to sing it so bad. And so I was like, I'm gonna go live, and then I'm gonna go through all the poems really quick, and then I'm going to save the VOD so that they can watch it later. Because the person who I wrote the poem for can't listen right now because they are at work. But I want to sing right now, and I don't want to interrupt them later. So let me put this in the server so they see it. Yep, I am. Oh, I'm also realizing I don't think I ever put the last There we go. I was like, I don't think I put the last video on YouTube or VOD, whatever. I have now. Thank goodness. Oops. There we go. Oh yeah, I will definitely have to fix that. It's probably fine on a light background, but not on a dark background like this. That's gonna drive me crazy if I keep looking at it. I will look away, and I'm sorry to everyone who has to see the little highlight outline. That is not on purpose. I will have to redo that image, which sucks, but it's not the end of the world. That won't take too long. Okay, I'm gonna start with The Lily and the Allium. Whew. Life is difficult. No, I started too high. This would be a lower voice. Sorry. I'm trying to, because it's for a character. It's a character's, Life is, no, that's too low. Life is difficult, but I don't give a shit. Hold my hand while we run through the fire. Your laughter, your smile, the light in your eyes is worth it. I've been dealt a bad hand, but it's a hand I can hold yours with. Two flowers growing intertwined by the lakeside, racing over rooftop. No, I need to do this again. I literally had a tune before I started this, and now I don't. This is embarrassing. Maybe I need water or something, because it's not coming out right. Life is difficult, but I don't give a shit. Hold my hand while we run through the fire. Nope. Life is difficult, but I don't give a shit. Hold my hand while we run through the fire. Your laughter, your smile, the light in your eyes is worth it. I've been dealt a bad hand, but it's a hand I can hold yours with. Two flowers growing intertwined by the lakeside, racing over rooftops, youth eternal, will never run out of time. I hear your voice in the wind, and there you are right behind. Life is difficult, but I don't give a shit. Hold my hand while I give you a kiss. You've been dealt a bad hand, but it's a hand I can hold with mine. Two flowers growing intertwined by the lakeside, racing over rooftops, youth eternal will never run out of time. If we live on the edge of the end, we'll always dance around it. If we hold both our hands together, we'll always fall with each other. And we've been dealt a bad hand, but it's a hand we can use to stick together. Two flowers growing intertwined by the lakeside, racing over rooftops, youth eternal, will never run out of time. No, not with the hand you've been dealt, not with the hand I've been dealt. Not with your hand in mine. Youth eternal will never run out of time, just like two flowers growing intertwined. And of course, the implication there is that they absolutely will be running out of time. Oh, I love that. I love that poem. When I read that character backstory, and I was like, ooh, this is my exact genre. This is the hope, this is the calm right before the storm. This is the everything is going well and it's about to go wrong. I love writing poems the other way around too. Everything is going wrong and everything's horrible, but it's about to go really, really well. I like the writing the dynamic shift or change or like in this poem, stopping right beforehand and not doing it. And like just heavily implying, hey, this is about to switch up on you. It's not gonna stay like this. Like they're not gonna be happy forever, or they're not gonna be sad forever. Both of them are very fun for me to do. So this one doesn't have a title itself. Like the other one doesn't necessarily has a title just immediately, but they are also all titled by just the character they're about, their character's name. So the last one was Al Keene, and this is Abel Westwood. And this one I don't have a title for it yet outside of that. I don't know if it needs one necessarily. It might, cause the Lily and the Allium certainly needed one. Let's, I'm gonna start. I'm trying to remember if this one had a tune or not, or if it was just... Oh, I think this one was just a beat. It wasn't necessarily sung, it was just rhythmic. Above and beyond, love long and drawn, reaching for the stars or at least climbing the trees to get closer, it'll cost you. Love and desperation, talent and cooperation, time is ticking down, you will never be more than you are now. Leave you behind, hold your heart like a shrine, time ticking away like a heartbeat that never fades. Death comes too close and you fly too high, the sun will melt your wings and you will die. Stay where you belong, above and beyond, love long and drawn, reaching for the stars or at least climbing the trees to get closer. It'll cost you. It'll cost me. So I'll never look back, never let it happen again. Close my heart, draw the blinds, your heart ticking as it runs out of time. Melt the wings when I see them before they ever take to the sky. Stay grounded, but stay alive. Reach for the stars the moment they don't seem so far. It'll cost you. It'll cost me. Okay, and then this one is definitely a song. Oh boy. Okay, let me make sure I'm in tune. You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. There we go. Okay. This is Phoenix Cavendish, I think. You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. No, you need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. Do you even know where you're going? No, do you even know where you're going? Is there a future ahead of you, or are you just running from the past? Are you leaving it all behind, or just refusing to look back? Is there a destination in mind, or is there somewhere you want to leave at last? You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. You need to get away, but you can't leave quickly. Are you searching for something or wandering to get away? Are you looking for someone? Are you looking for somewhere to stay? Is there a future ahead of you, or are you just running from the past? Are you leaving it all behind, or just refusing to look back? Is there a destination in mind, or is there somewhere you want to leave at last? You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. Do you even know where you're going? Are you running at all, or desperate to go back? Are you walking slowly so that you don't miss the path back to something, to someone, to before? You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. Do you even know where you're going? I think I sang that a little faster than I meant to, but that's fine. It's meant to be a slower song than I did it, but I can try again. Now that I've sung it once, maybe I'll do it better. You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. Do you even know where you're going? Is there a future ahead of you, or are you just running from the past? Are you leaving it all behind, or just refusing to look back? Is there a destination in mind, or is there somewhere you want to leave at last? You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. You need to get away, but you can't leave quickly. Are you searching for something, or wandering to get away? Are you looking for someone? Are you looking for somewhere to stay? Is there a future ahead of you, or are you just running from the past? Are you leaving it all behind, or just refusing to look back? Is there a destination in mind, or is there somewhere you want to leave at last? You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. Do you even know where you're going? Are you running at all, or desperate to go back? Are you walking slowly so that you don't miss the path back to something, to someone, to before? You need to run away, but you gotta walk slowly. Do you even know where you're going? There we go. That's better. Okay. And this one is Fern and Eddie. I think it's either Edie, Eddie, E.T. I think it's Eddie. Etty, as in E-T-Y, like Etty. I'm probably pronouncing it a bit wrong. I'm sure it's very specific, but give me some grace. I think this one wasn't a song either. Handsgrass, no it was. I don't know the tune though. It's been too long. Oops. Hands grasped together before we leave forever, your hand in mine before we run out of time. We'll walk beyond what we've known, friend forever, heart at home, separate and find again in a whole new world, someone called friend. Hearts beating side by side, see the world, each other in a new light. Walk the path of life together while we explore ever onward forever, your hand in mine before we run out of time. And then Eddie Fairfax, which is definitely sung, and I have sung it before. I don't think I sung it on the last stream. Maybe I did. But I definitely sang it to the person I definitely sang it to Eddie's, writer in the Discord. So if I mess up the tune a bit, they heard the best version, so it's fine. I would not die, having done nothing. I would not die, having seen nothing. I would not die, with my dreams right beside me. I will not die, having done nothing. And I would not live, no matter how much more living there was to have. Having not seen the world of my dreams, having not explored beyond my home, I will not live in a world I alone know. I will see as far as my feet will take me, beyond the walls of this house, beyond where I could have dreamed to reach. I will see farther than my dreams could take me. I would not die, having done nothing but thought that maybe I'll see something. And I would not die, having seen nothing but thought that maybe I'll do something. My dreams will be beyond what you know, where I'll go beyond these roads, explore farther than I would ever know. I would not die with my dreams right beside me. I will die with my dreams having thrived. Even if there was more living to be had, if I stayed still and let my dreams die in my place, I will not die, not when I have more to see, more to be, in a world beyond these childhood walls. Okay. And now the last two are mine. They are my poems about my character, who is Lilmia Cascade. Not Lilmia Cassand. Don't get them mixed up. I'm Lilmia Cassand. This is Lilmia Cascade. Completely different person, clearly. And these poems are not about her. All the other poems were about the people. I mean, these poems are about her, but these are meant to be folklore, world building about where she is from. And I did read these on the last stream, but they are relevant to what this stream is about. I'm going to read them and then stream will be over. I will post the VOD and I will be done for the day. I mean, I might come back later if I suddenly have a burst of inspiration and write like 5 poems. Or if I want to stream a game. I wanted to stream some RimWorld, but one of the mods I use completely breaks the game in the new update, and the mod's supposedly updated, and it's not. And I don't know, like, I'm pretty sure I know which mod it is specifically, but there's like 4 large mods it could be, and I'm attached to all of them. And so I'm like, it would take some time to narrow down which of those 4 it was. I've already spent hours narrowing it down further and further because I don't want to play a fully, I tried just going fully vanilla, and it is fun, especially with the new, I guess it's not too new anymore, but the new, newish to me, DLC, but it's still, I still like some of the quality of life mods. Like, I still want character editor, and I still want, allow tool, job manager, whatever, job splitter, but also, I also want to use Twitch Toolkit and Twitch Utils, and I don't know how those would interact. I mean, people are using them on the new update, but people were using them on the last update, and yet mine was not working correctly ever, and theirs were. But there were, so I'll have to try again. But they've got an official update now as well, so we'll see. That probably won't be today. I have a biology lab today, but this weekend, I've got the house not entirely to myself, but mostly to myself. My sister's off on a school trip to up in the mountains. I've been on that, not that specific trip, but she's going to the same place she and I went a couple years back. And it's going to be awesome. She's going to learn a lot. She's going to enjoy being out in the woods way more than I ever did. I mean, it's a school trip, though, instead of being like a I mean, it's still voluntary, but it's school sanctioned instead of just a educational summer opportunity. So she might actually be in like a cabin with, she might, instead of a tent, full of insects. It wasn't even if it were a tent that you could actually seal, I'd have been fine, but it wasn't. It was what's the word for them? It's a platform with a tarp over it and the bunk beds inside, so that she's probably going to be in that because it's easier to set up than an actual place for students to stay. But she's getting her feet wet, seeing if she's going to come back over the summer for I think it's a 3-week, 4-week thing, maybe. Or maybe it was only 2, whatever, and get like 3 college credits for a ecology class, which I didn't end up doing myself back when I had that opportunity because my summer was so busy, and I was like, I'm not going into ecology. Sure, it'd be great to have those credits, but I don't need them. I do kind of wish I'd gotten them because they would count as a science, and I'd be out of this biology class, which, I mean, the main problem was that at the time I was going into biology, so I was like, I don't need more science credits. It's not going to get me out of any of my science classes. It would if I were going into ecology, but I was not going into ecology, so the only thing it would get me out of would be an elective science, and I wasn't taking any elective sciences. I was taking a bunch of major sciences, but I have since changed my major, and now it would be nice to have gotten out of the science, the unnecessary sciences. I mean, I don't hate taking a bunch of extra biology courses than are necessary. I love biology. There was a reason I was going to be a biology major. And if I am only taking biology, the grades will be easy. I'll have easy A's. And especially because I'm taking the non-major class versions of it. But it is a little disheartening to go, wow, I could have skipped out on a lab class because any class with a lab, even a biology class, which I love and adore, is going to be way more intense than any class without it. Even all my literature classes, which have 5 billion papers. Gosh, they should coordinate with each other. Don't they know they all have the same English majors in them? Don't they know they're teaching the same kids and should coordinate with each other to not be giving papers in the same week? Well, sorry, I have gone on a little rant, but yeah, my dad will be going to like a supercomputing conference somewhere. Like, I'm not worried about that being identifying information. There's gonna be a ton of people at that conference, and it's somewhere in the US. There's like 2 a year, I think, and then there's a bunch more outside of the US. I honestly don't know which one he's going to. I think there's actually more a year, but this is a big one, because he usually only goes to the big ones because he's a nerd. I say nerd very nice and polite. I'm a nerd too. I get all my nerdiness from him and the autism. What can I say? My dad's going to a supercomputing conference. I get the autism from him. But I mean, it is exciting. He always brings back knickknacks, because it's a supercomputing conference, so all of the the computing companies, they're all showing off their cool new toys, and so they will have so they'll be giving out at little stands. They'll be giving out free, not always free. Sometimes you have to pay for like t-shirts and stuff, but they'll be giving out free little knickknacks to say, look what we can do on a tiny like toy-sized version. Aren't we cool? Or it'll just be a toy thing with their logo stuck on it. And I mean, neither me and my sister are at an age where we want toys anymore, but like, I say toys, they were fidget toys pretty much always, because that is what they give out at a supercomputing conference. They know who's coming, they know who's presenting, they know the clientele. But yeah, I still have that very cool like heavy metal solid weighted fidget spinner, which is like sensory wise a lot better than any other fidget spinner, because it's solid metal and so it's actually got weight to it, and it spins better because some engineer somewhere like calculated the specific perfect weight to make it, and then they gave it out at that conference like 6 years ago, I don't know, 7. Yeah, but my dad brought home 3, one for me, one for my sister, one for him. I think that was the year of the fidget spinners where everybody at that conference was giving out various fidget spinners, and me and my sister ranked all the ones Dad brought back and decided the metal starfish was the best. I mean, probably just because it was higher quality materials, because it was metal, and the others were mostly plastic. I mean, some of the others spun very well and were clearly very well, like, over-engineered. But I was like, yeah, whoever made this clocked that the weight would really be the biggest appeal. Over the spin is not necessarily the appeal, it's the weight and being able to push the weight and make it spin. So that was also the number of fidget cubes. Like I'm saying, yeah, like I say toys, but I'm thinking I don't think he's brought back a single toy that wasn't clearly a fidget device. Oh wow. I mean, I guess it is a supercomputing conference, but like he'll bring cool things like a self-charge, like a flashlight that you charge just by like it'll have it won't have batteries. Oh, hi. Hello. Oh, you missed the poems for you. But they'll be in the VOD. I'll post the VOD will be posted, and you heard them already in the Discord. I still haven't read Childhood Rhyme or The Warning. So I'm gonna do that. I got distracted on a rant about the fact that I'll almost have the house to myself this weekend. And because my mom's gonna be the only one still here. And basically, where my sister's going, she's doing a fun trip up in the mountains. She's gonna learn stuff about biology and ecology and science and research. Awesome. And how my dad's off to his yearly supercomputing conference, and he's gonna bring back knickknacks, and I'm theorizing what he's gonna bring back, because you know they're giving out knickknacks at a supercompute at a big conference like that. They have nothing better to do. Like my whole childhood, Dad would leave for a weekend, but he'd return with a giant bag full of knickknacks, and I was like, he'd bring back toys. I don't know why they were giving out toys at it. And then I paused. I was like, no, they weren't giving out toys at a supercomputing conference. Let me rephrase. They were giving out fidget toys and fidget devices, and that was it always at the supercomputing at the supercomputing conference. They were either a tiny knickknack that could double as a toy for a child, or it was clearly a fidget device designed for fidgeting. Which, oh boy, I wonder why they're giving that out at the supercomputing conference. Oh boy. And I sure do wonder why my dad would bring those back to me and my sister and for himself. I wonder. That's so funny. But yeah, I'd kind of made that connection before, that most of the things, the quote-unquote toys that were brought back were absolutely fidget devices, but I hadn't realized all of them were, and that the toys I was thinking of were actually just knickknacks that just as a small child I would repurpose into toys. Yeah, we're so neurotypical. Ignore all the diagnoses. No diagnoses here. Absolutely zero. It's the average of diagnoses in this household per person is, let me do some math real quick. I mean, no, I don't have to do math because it's 0. I mean, let me go. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah, ADHD, depression, anxiety, autism. My sister, dyslexia, ADHD, and that she's not diagnosed with autism, but she believes it, I believe it, and she just needs to convince mom and get her taken to a professional. So that's 4 for me. We're going by diagnosed, so I guess 2 for Jam. For my mom, dyslexia. There's another one I'm not going to say the name of, because I don't actually know which specific one it is, but it's not like a genetic one like the rest of those. So that's 2. But we're always suspecting her of ADHD, but she also suspects it occasionally herself. But then she goes, but I don't have any of the other symptoms. I just have the symptoms that overlap with childhood PTSD. So we're like, yeah, so we'll just leave her with the 2. Dad, he only has the 1 diagnosis of chronic anxiety. And yet, if you were to look at our household and try to, and say, okay, guess who's autistic? You would not guess me or my sister first. And my mom, who is a special ed teacher, let me tell you, she would not guess me or my sister first either. And if you were to meet his whole side of the family, oh, you wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe what runs in the family over there. Just because no one his generation or above is diagnosed does not mean that there's a single person my generation undiagnosed. Well, no, there's one. But she's just not autistic. But all of the rest of us, but the rest of us are diagnosed. So we had to have gotten it from somewhere. So if we count only the diagnoses, that's 4 from me, 2 from my sister, 2 from my mom, 1 from my dad. So that's 5 plus 4, that's 9 divided by 4. We've got 2.25 diagnoses per person. But if we included all the actual things, like if we included my sister's autism, which is not diagnosed, and my dad's autism, which is not diagnosed, that's another 2, so that would be 11 divided by 4, and that's 2.75? Yeah. That's 2.75, and Mom probably doesn't have ADHD, but you could include that, and then we have a nice even 3, but she doesn't, so. But yeah, I don't know all of the diagnoses specifically. Like, the one I won't say for my mom is that I don't actually know the specific name of it. I could only point at the general disorders, and that's not fair. I shouldn't say that about her on the internet. But the rest of us, I know it because we know it because there was intense investigation because I got diagnosed with anxiety, chronic anxiety. It's chronic because it's a chemical disorder. It's not just I'm prone to anxiety. I have a chemical imbalance. There's a difference between being diagnosed with anxiety because you're prone to it and just having an anxiety disorder, and having a chronic anxiety disorder. I don't necessarily know the difference off the top of my head. I did at some point because I looked it up when I got diagnosed at 11. But the chronic part is that it is not possible for mine to go away, whereas someone with, I think, just a normal anxiety disorder could have non-medicated treatment. I think that's the main difference, is that my treatment, it's not possible for it to be entirely unmedicated, whereas someone with an anxiety disorder could have, technically, although it might not be a good idea, but they could have entirely unmedicated, like their treatment could be no medication at all, could be just therapy, whereas I need a combination of therapy and medication. And the medication is specifically to counteract the chemical imbalance, because I just produce too much anxiety hormones, and stress hormones, but that's that's not a disorder. That has to do with the autism, ADHD, and living in this world, and reacting to the increase of anxiety, hormones. Like, if you have an increase of anxiety hormones, your stress hormones go up. It's not the stress hormones themselves that have the issue, although it can be hard to tell in that situation, because is it the increase in stress causing an increase in anxiety, or is it the increase in anxiety causing an increase in stress, or are they both increasing at the same time? And for me, it's the anxiety increasing the stress, and other things also increasing the stress. But yeah, ever since I was 11, I was put on the same anti-anxiety meds as my dad. He has the same chronic anxiety disorder. And it's not solved, but it's pretty much solved. I'm on a normal level for an anxious person. Someone who's just a little more anxious than normal, but still normal range. which is wildly different from before age 11. But yeah, and then when I got diagnosed with autism, that's also when I got diagnosed with the ADHD and depression. And once you have the three, you just need three things under the autism that are under the autism umbrella to get the autism diagnosis, or two and very strong autistic, what's the word? The word's gone. It's gone. Oh no. It'll come back. Oh yeah. Well, I hope the anxiety gets better somehow. Medication, therapy, life just improving, any of those things, all of those things. Any combination, any of them. What's the word? Yeah, or a strong indicator of other autistic behaviors. I don't think that's the exact phrasing, but it's if you show very strong autistic indicators, and you're only diagnosed with two of the things that fall under the autistic umbrella, you can still get the autism diagnosis. But if you have three of the things that fall under the autism umbrella, you just get the autism. I mean, not you just get the autism diagnosis. That's what makes you autistic. Because it's the combination of three or more of any of these things that causes, the it's a spectrum for a reason. Yeah, they give you the autism. It's more of the different disorders interacting with each other that cause what would be identified as autism. However, if you only have two, but you're still doing autistic things, you don't necessarily need all of them to be autistic. It's more of a there needs to be some kind of line in the sand, and it's pretty easy to define, hey, everyone with autism has at least two of these disorders, and we know this for a fact. And pretty much all of them have at least three. Oh yeah, and the things that are comorbid with autism, a lot of the questioning becomes, because as the years go on and we become better at diagnosing autism, you'll notice that they become less and less comorbid, like statistically. Like, they are still comorbid, and you are still more likely to have an intellectual disability if you're autistic, or potentially if you have an intellectual disability, you're more likely to be autistic. It could go either way. That's a correlation that's hard to differentiate, because there's not enough separation there, because they so commonly overlap. That it's hard to tell where the separation is. However, there has been a notice that as soon as we got better at diagnosing autism, the number of people without comorbid, like other disabilities, that had autism shot through the roof. And a big thing is that, does it seem like it's more comorbid than it is? Because when autism was first named, like first officially this is a thing, they were pretty much only looking at people who already had intellectual disabilities or other disabilities. Like, it was, if you already have a disability of some kind, you're going to get screened for everything. Or pretty much everything. It does depend on what disability you're already confirmed to have and what sort of doctors you have. But the chances are, if you already have some sort of disability, they're gonna screen you for everything. Exactly. Like, there are some, like, with the DID and other personality disorders, I believe those fall under the autism umbrella. Like, those, like, you can, like, it's like you can have ADHD without being autistic, but if you're autistic, you can't, but ADHD counts as one of the three things you need for an autism diagnosis. I'm not sure if dissociative identity disorder counts specifically, but I know there are a lot of personality disorders that do. Like, because I was autistic and thought I might be autistic, and so I looked into it. I researched it. I spent a lot of time looking it up. Yeah, there's too many things that are really under-researched. The only thing in autism that's over-researched is that vaccines do not cause it. That is the only thing that it has so much research. It is the only thing that has so much research. Everything else, be free, live in the wild, do whatever you want, believe whatever you want. Like, we've looked into, that's because it's a lot of, there's specific disorders that often get looked into specifically, and I think it's, with DID, I keep wanting to read it as did, but, like, I can't read it as did. That's not what it says. DID, a lot of the research into it is a lot of, I think that it's, I kind of hate to say this, but it's a quote-unquote fascinating thing from an outsider point of view of there being multiple people in one person. That's whether the person from the outside is seeing it as morbidly fascinating, scientifically fascinating, or just weirdly fascinating. It's a sort of thing that catches a narrative, like, story. Unfortunately, it catches a narrative story in a pretty negative way in media a lot. But it does mean that there's been a lot of focused research on it. With autism, for a while there wasn't, until the whole, what's his name? The guy who invented the vaccines cause autism. Hate him. He's still alive. Hate that guy. But until then, autism wasn't a focus. I mean, it existed, and there were a lot of, like, tropes around it as, like savant. But those were pretty separate from autism, despite very explicitly being autism. Like, it because it was new enough that people were following the tropes before the autism, like, existed. But I'm trying to think. Oh, there is Moon Knight, but not necessarily. I don't know too much about Moon Knight, and it's not all positive. It depends on the comic run, and it depends on the author of the comic run. But he is supposedly fairly good, depending on the run and the author. I don't know. I don't remember if people were saying the most recent movie for him was good or not, if it was good representation or not, but even then, it wasn't necessarily good accurate representation. It was just he's the good guy, and he's a hero, or anti-hero, I don't know the specifics. He's, as in, it's not necessarily a negative, but just something about him. And I think that more depends on the comic book run. But I don't read Marvel comics, so I wouldn't really know. I just follow a lot of people who read Marvel comics. I've got one mutual who's I think it's the mutual who's crazy about who's crazy about Moon Knight, yeah. And they had some, so it was hard to tell when they had choice words for the Moon Knight, like the most recent Marvel Cinematic Universe Moon Knight, if it was because it wasn't accurate to the comic books or because it wasn't well done. Like, it's hard to tell sometimes, because if you're following someone who's passionate enough about a character, sometimes you're like, okay, so it's bad because it's not good, or is it bad because it's not accurate? And you have to make that judgment call yourself. So I wasn't watching The Thing. I don't watch Marvel movies anymore. I did let my sister talk me into watching the Fantastic Four, which honestly was good. I was a little bit surprised. Yeah, but I do follow other people, not mutuals, who like Moon Knight a decent amount. The comics, and they only ever talk about the comics, and they like him. So and they are pretty, and it seems to be depending on the run and the author, as is true for every character in every single comic book ever, where you have to throw up a warning sign of, wait, I mean in this specific issue on this specific page by this specific author, I don't mean in general, so don't. It's like, you gotta attach a disclaimer to every single time you say you like or dislike a comic book character. You could say you dislike insert evil character, and they're like, well, what about this short run where they were a hero and they saved an orphanage of children? Do you think that's evil? And you have to go, I meant post-crisis, man. Or I meant pre-crisis or whatever. Okay, goodbye. Have a good time driving your brother to work. I'll probably read these 2 poems and then be done, so you're not gonna miss much. You've already heard them. Okay, this is Childhood Rhyme. There speaks a darkness in the shadows beneath blades of grass, and the underside of leaves that slithers like a snake and wraps around your knees, brings you tumbling down to earth so that you lay amongst it and feasts on the fear that you feel for it. Among the people of this land are those born to see it, who hear it rustling when no one else does, who smell it from a distance, who feel the danger of it on their skin, who taste the deception it brings in its wake, who see it coiling in the shadows like a snake. Beware the warnings of those so blessed, that we might know where darkness has crept. Be wary where they startle and flinch, and be careful only to step where they step. There speaks a darkness in the shadows beneath blades of grass, and the underside of leaves, that slithers like a snake and wraps around your knees, brings you tumbling down to earth so that you lay amongst it and feast on the fear that you feel for it. Okay. One more poem, and then I should probably stop to eat. I do have the biology lab later. I should not go to that on an empty stomach. It's 2 hours. Better than 3. When I was at my last college, it was 3-hour labs, and I couldn't survive those. That's part of why I left. I mean, not the only reason, but it's part of why I changed majors, is what I mean. This is the warning. Anger not the magic here, the people, the creatures, the things. We will drain your water, eat up your land. Remember, humans are no more grand than any other animal caught in death's hands. Anger not the magic here, and listen to those who hear us. Our warning passes by your senses, but not theirs, for some part of them is part of us. So listen to their voices as they repeat our warning. They may be yours, they may be human, but anger not the magic here, for we will gladly steal away the gifts, the people we have once given. I've had my fun. I've read my creepy little poems. I think I'm good to go. Have a good day, everybody. Night, whatever. Have a good time. Goodbye. Oh, I just waved. I just waved. There was no point in me waving. Goodness.